How's it going? Just, thinking about these guys over there a little bit, and they've done a nice job, particularly these last 2 weeks. That team's played some physical teams, man. They've grinded it out. 2 big wins. Coach McCarthy's doing a great job, has for a long time now. Zimmer, we talked about the other day, got a lot of respect for him and what they're doing. And this quarterback is as good as they come. So, this is going to be a challenge, and our guys know that, but we're looking forward to it. And we're in a good place right now, and we'll be ready to go.
Dan, with Kirby, is that just something that came up in practice the other day, and just what's his outlook for Sunday?
Yeah, he's going to practice today. So, I think we'll be okay. We'll see. We'll know a lot more after today's practice.
Dan, there are only 32 of your jobs out there, and I imagine there's a community or a sense of kinship with other coaches. When any of you lose your job, I guess how reflective are you in the moment when a coach is let go from their organization?
Yeah, I think there's always a part of you that you do. It makes you feel fortunate to be where you're at. I know I do. I'm fortunate to be where I'm at with the people that I'm with. And we've had success, and that's at the end of the day, that's, you got to win. It's about wins. And no matter how you cut it, what it is or isn't, the W's matter. So that's the bottom line. It's a hard business that way, but we all understand that. Everybody does. So I'm always going to wish him the best, I think he's an outstanding coach.
When Dan Skipper checks into games, do you hear the reception he gets from fans?
Well, I'm aware of it. No, I don't, but I'm aware of it because people have told me that. Like, Skipper comes in, everybody yell, so.
Well, we all know his story and kind of, who he is and everything. What do you think it means to him, like, be a 6th offensive lineman that, has become a cult hero? Like, that's pretty.
Have you asked Skip?
I have asked him,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure pretty good. Look, Skip is the ultimate team guy, competitor, grinder, doesn't have bad days, and never feels sorry for himself, worries about this or that, doesn't make excuses. He's the guy, he's the bubble guy every time. He's on the bubble, and his practice squad, it's the roster, and, I play, I help on show team if I need to. He does whatever we ask him to do. He goes in, he plays tackle. He's played guard, started for guard, never played a game at guard. You guys remember that? Washington, Seattle. And then he's our jumbo tight end. So, it's hard to it's kind of hard to put into words, the value a guy like him brings. And when you have guys like him and Craig Reynolds, Tom Kennedy, that just grind it out, man, and they don't feel sorry for themselves about anything. They earn everything they get every day in practice, and they get an opportunity in a game, they make the most of it. And that's why they're here, because we trust them. They've built that. They've earned that. So I know it probably feels good, He's a grunt.
Josh Pascal is one of the guys you immediately talked about after week 3 as guys who needed to step up. I'm just curious, what do you want to see from him going forward in terms of his growth now that he has a bigger role?
Yeah, well, keep doing what you're doing is what I would tell him, and I have told him, because he's gotten better every week that he's gotten thrust into playing more. Every game has gotten better and better and better since he came back from early in the season. So just keep doing what you're doing. He's violent on the edge in the run game. Everything starts with power in the pass game and then comes off of that. And that's where he's continuing to grow, particularly as a rusher, and he really has gotten so much better. Terrell's done a great job with him, but just keep putting in the work like you're doing, keep growing, because he's on a good trajectory right now.
A couple linebackers to the practice squad, but really more edge background for both those guys. Is there something you're still looking for in the mix there?
Well, I think, Brett and I talked about, first of all, I think Brad did a great job. He always does. But just bringing in, hey, we need a little edge help. And the more you can bring in, the more guys, that's more competition. And so let's let them just continue to work, practice, develop, get them accustomed to what we do, and then let them fight it out. Let them compete against each other and let the best man win. And if they can help us, we're going to take them to the game.
Always curious, the first practice for your defensive guys, you make them go through the up-downs. It seems like that sets a bad tone for a first practice for a guy. Like, what do you expect on a first day after you make a guy puke?
Yeah, well, you can't tell them not much, but not much. I mean, because it's you know what that's like. That's hard. I mean, they're ready to make their mark, and you just completely blow them out early. You know, they got nothing left in the tank. They got to go to individual. You know, those guys done a great job. I mean, both of those guys. You know, Al came in, Muhammad and Cam Gill, and they both had to do them and go right at individual. And I tell you what, they gave us both great looks on that day during practice. Once they got their win back. But it's like we talk about here. That's the beauty of, look, it's the buy-in, right? And it's buy-in if you want to play on our defense, man, you got to pay your dues because everybody has. And I think some of the best is once you've done that, like a guy like, I still laugh because Jack Campbell kind of stands off to the side and he's just got this grin on his face like, man, I paid my dues. I get to watch somebody else do this because I know what that's like. And it's good, you know, it's good. You buy in and you're part of the crew.
Speaking of bringing a person up to the roster, you do have an empty spot currently on the 53. Is that an opportunity maybe for one of those edges that have been here for a while, like Goudet, Tukwoo, Pat O'Connor, to maybe take that spot?
It gives us options. I don't want to say that we'll necessarily use that or we're in a hurry to fill that. It really just is kind of giving us a little bit of flexibility right now. You know, it does give us options. But I wouldn't say we're necessarily in a hurry to fill that with maybe one of those guys or somebody else right now.
Can you speak to the progress of some of those guys? You know, we haven't seen them since training camp, so like Tukwoo or Goudet, how those guys progress?
Yeah, I think both of them very nicely. I think both of those guys, because they've been here the longest, talk about these DNs, edge guys, and both of those guys have done a really good job for us. And honestly, I would have no problem playing either one of those guys if we need them.
He was drenched. I don't know if he came out the cold tub or maybe he was working out.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Roderick Martin.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see how he's coming along and how close he is maybe to.
He's doing a good job. He's progressed nicely, and I think I can't give you a date like how close. But he's right in line to where we thought he would be. So he's doing really good, really good. Yep.